NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Kansas, presented by Ram, inviting you to go to NASCAR.com for all of your latest NASCAR information. 16 laps in, Aric Almirola is the leader. Which driver do you think will take first out of this week's top 4 qualifiers? Those 4, Kasey Kahne, Mark Martin, Clint Bowyer, or Kyle Busch. Text FAST to 34763 or go to attfastestdriver.com to play. You can have a chance to win 4 Gs by playing along in today's AT&T Fastest Driver Challenge. And every week you have a chance to make your pick and series stack up against the rest. Kasey Kahne started on pole position, but he's dropped back to 6th place, Vince.
Those first laps after the green flag dropped, Alan, Kasey reported that the car was hitting the splitter as he dropped back a handful of positions. But after the pressures came up, he returned to the radio on lap 8 and said the front end is really good, but he's still a little loose in the right rear. But they certainly feel better than they did those initial laps at the start.
All right, so a little momentary, oh boy, what have I got here? And now things have settled in for today's pole sitter.
Since the last time these guys were on the racetrack, there was obviously a 300-mile race yesterday. Things changed. It looked like it was going to be sunny today. Now we have cloud cover. So a lot of things different. These drivers get settled in. There's Greg Biffle. He's settling in really nicely so far with a little different groove right now.
If you watch Biffle in the corners, saw this just a couple of laps ago where everybody else has got the left sides right down on that white line or yellow line. He's starting to move it up a little bit.
Getting a good run doing that too. I mean, he made a pass on Joe Logano easily. Just like he's going to do on Kasey Kahne right here. Wouldn't surprise me to see Kasey move up there once he sees Biffle doing that if his car's not too loose. But Biffle is moving towards the front, Vince.
Andy, as he moved up that half lane, as you guys talked about it, the speed kicking in, and he came over the radio and he said, "Here we go, hang on to your britches." he felt it getting faster, likes what he's got right now. Matt Fuchsia, the crew chief there on the right-hand side of your screen, told me we were a lot better than 11th where we qualified. We've got a real fast race car. We believe we've got something to work with and can win this race today. It's a long way from over, but they're looking good early.
Yeah, Dale, it's got to be fun when you're the first guy to kind of find that extra groove or that extra speed in another groove.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun as a driver. You get that and start making some passes. You realize others are going to catch on because this is a group of smart drivers you're working with. But it's kind of fun. You just have to be careful. That's still a very narrow groove. You don't want to venture outside of there too far.
Yeah, you're the first one up there. You figured out. We catch on. Put a camera on it. The spotters up on the roof all catch on. And they all see the lap times. And Greg Biffle certainly will have no lack of confidence here at Kansas Speedway based on past record.
He loved the old track. He looks like he's loving this one too. His fastest car on the track last lap.
So the Biff in 6th and rising. Looks like Denny Hamlin in front of him is starting to creep up and use that second layer of banking as well here at Kansas Speedway. Aric Almirola leading in the early going. Looking down on Kansas Speedway today from our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. From pit lane to victory lane, every NASCAR driver counts on Goodyear tires. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And we invite you to stay tuned for NASCAR nonstop coverage during the second half of today's race, presented by Ram. Caution-free so far at Kansas Speedway in race 6 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Still not quite 50 miles into the event. And after Mark Martin led the opening 6 laps, Aric Almirola blasted by him in that 43 car. And he's moved away from second place by nearly 5 seconds. Now, Jamie, when I saw this 43 car in the garage this morning, the right side was unpainted, undecaled, on anything.
Well, they had what you could call a little issue yesterday in happy hour. Of course, Aric Almirola, you see him waving out the window saying thank you very much for moving out of my way. Had a little incident, was pushing it. They were so good in all the practice sessions. He ended up sliding up the track, got into the wall on the right-hand side. Thankfully for this team and this rocket ship of a car, we have a caution on the track, guys.
Got one car that's gotten into the wall there. It looks like Casey Mears in the 13.
Trying to get it around here. The brakes are done. We gotta go to the garage.
Yeah, he's hit the wall so hard it looks like he maybe broke the brake rotor, which I'll have to put that back on and fix that before they go back out.
Yeah, we're feeling the guys.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, you can see that tire let go right there.
Oh. Casey running in 31st position at the time. And boy, that's a hard shot.
You can see it, momentum almost carried him back up into traffic.
Lose a lot of things on these cars when it's dragging around the racetrack, so some debris to be picked up after Casey Mears into the wall. First caution of the race is out, just 32 laps in. And remember that in the April race here on April 22nd, there were only 3 caution flags in this race. And as we mentioned a little while ago, in yesterday's 300-mile Nationwide Series event, there were 12. We expect today we'll see the yellow flag maybe half a dozen times or so. So pit road's going to be open. Andy, for the opening run of the race, they are way past halfway in a fuel run.
Yeah, it'll take a little more than 1 can of fuel, but 2 tires would still be quicker if they're for track position. One thing I worry about doing that right now, especially after that hard lick from Casey Mears, is you saw that brake rotor. A lot of those parts could be out there that you can't see, and I'd hate to change the right sides and then have maybe a left side with a slow leak in it. That's something that some of the guys will be thinking about. But it is still an opportunity to get 2 tires and get track position.
Brian Patty, Clint Boyer's crew chief, told me this morning, you've got to play the game. And he meant this game, calling the race extremely well today if you're going to win this thing or have a good finish. Here they are, Doc.
All right, Denny Hamlin's at the little edgy on entry, little free on exit, so they're going to make a 4-tire change so they can adjust the air pressure here on his 11 car. Fill it full of Sunoco fuel. Left side tires going on now. They burn.
Kyle Busch gets up third for 2 right side tires and Sunoco fuel chassis adjustment. Tight race car. Jamie.
Eric Almirola happy with his car. Right side's 1 can of fuel and he's gone. Vince.
Mike Langenfeld changing the front tire for the 16 car after their normal changer was sick. It's a 2-tire change. Track bar adjustment just a tick free for Greg Biffle at the start.
Going to see mostly just right side tires at the front of the pack. A couple of guys that made 4 tire changes. Going to give up a lot of track position under this first caution. There is some good eating in Kansas City. Barbecue, terrific.
Ooh, that looks good.
Picture Big Brad down in the pit studio now saying, "Get me some."
That's his right there.
It has not been a weekend where anyone's probably lost any weight hanging around Kansas City, as we welcome you back to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Hollywood Casino 400 and remind you to check out NASCAR.com/RaceBuddy to watch coverage live from Kansas Speedway. Follow your favorite drivers for free with 8 live camera views. Doubling up for the restart. Reminder of the Big O Tires NHRA Nationals from Las Vegas. Next weekend qualifying 1:30 a.m. Saturday, ESPN 2. And the Big O Tires NHRA Nationals Finals next Sunday at 8 Eastern Time, also on ESPN 2. Next Sunday, NASCAR Sprint Cup Series from Martinsville, the Paperclip, 1 Eastern Time. Next weekend, another wild card race in the chase. Martinsville next Sunday. Can't wait. Denny Hamlin from 6th to 19th with getting 4 tires, Doc.
Yeah, let's check in with Darian Grubb. And Darian gave up quite a bit of track position, taking 4 versus others taking 2. Why'd you do that?
We got 232 laps to go, and we're doing our adjustments early so we can play the games later.
What he was talking about with being free in and free off, did you have to take 4 to be able to make that adjustment?
We really didn't have to, but we really wanted to get a good read on the car here early to try to figure out what's going on with the race car and what adjustments work, so we'll be faster at the end.
All right, an adjustment early on. Lost some track spots, but they hope it'll pay off in the long run, AB.
All right, Doc, thanks.
Seemed pretty confident in that decision.
Looking at the restart order, top of the screen, there were only 7 teams that took 4 tires, and they're all well back in the field. Denny Hamlin being among them, who got the 4 tires. And Hamlin aggressive there, bottom of the screen in that black number 11, 3 wide, and gets a couple of spots into turn 1.
Kyle Busch is trying to lead. Eric Almirola not wanting to give this spot up. He likes it out front.
Whoa, hang on there, Kyle.
Wow, that 43 is strong. Ryan Newman showing a little muscle there on the bottom. These guys showing up here don't have to be a part of the chase to want to win this race out here today.
Almirola clears Kyle Busch. Ryan Newman trying to work to the inside of Kyle for second. 39 car.
I've had a little contact between the 17 and the 55.
And look at this scramble. They're all over the place. 4 wide here. Oh, that's close.
In fact, Mark Martin got forced out of the groove and then kind of caused a big scramble right there in that group.
Mark was running 6th. Here it is.
It's just the arrow that we were talking about. We saw this a couple of times yesterday in the nationwide race. What looked like some contact, it was just getting right there. We're seeing these cars running closer together. And I'm looking going down the front straightaway. They're 4 wide. Wow.
Spins.
Yellow's out, yellow's out, yellow's out. Think you got a tire down, just go right to your box, leaders in 2.
Kyle Busch from racing side by side with Almirola for the lead after the restart to spinning through the tri-oval grass and bringing out the caution.
The man got away with it. Don't see any damage.
Turn your radiator fan off, shake it, see if you can get the grass up your grill.
Yeah, that started back in the corner as he tried to exit. Was in the gas hard, but you can see the car wiggle, and it was just a matter of trying to keep it off the wall, and Kyle did a great job of that.
Wow.
Mentioned this yesterday a little bit with these hard tires, and this is what has to be done with, I keep talking about a hard tire. It's not that they're too hard, but this is what has to be done on a new surface, or you're going to get into a blistering situation. But with them being hard, and especially now that the temperature has cooled off a little bit, when this thing slips just a little bit, the driver really can't catch up fast enough. You see that little bit of a wiggle, and then the next thing is the car is turning around.
Well, I talked to Brian Petty actually before the race started. He's talking about, too, that to make these cars go fast on these kind of tracks and these surfaces, it puts you in a really tight box. I heard him say that. And that this setup is very, very edgy. And so you can be really fast and be right. But if you get just a little off, boy, it's hard to handle.
Now, last week in Charlotte, we saw a series of quick cautions. And during that, Paul Wolfe for Brad Keselowski got off schedule on his pit stops and made up a lot of track position and got his car to the front to the point that they lead the most laps. They were just in on pit road not, 7 laps ago.
Yeah, that's not quite enough laps. Plus, he's already made his way up to 11. I mean, he's made up a ton of track position here. He's passing cars. His car's really good right now. I'd stay out if I was him.
Yeah, I think he might be able to get there the old-fashioned way today.
Yep. Pit road open to the lead lap cars.
You might see some of the guys coming from the back, but leaders are going to stay out.
No takers for a long way back. Maybe not any takers at all.